I'm Monique Soltani. I'm a wine expert, a journalist, and I'm thirsty for life. This is Wino TV. You gotta say it like that with your face. You gotta go, Grüner Veltliner.
Sounds like an illness, you know. You have to do something.
Where culture...
And then he just get the entire emotion of a Grüner Veltliner kick, and he said that's the perfect martini alternative.
I love it, but I couldn't help but thinking he was gonna belt out some song. And agriculture come together. We are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Summer of Love here in San Francisco. We are at a staple of the city. We are at Scoma's. We're here in Fisherman's Wharf getting down with some groovy Grüners. And I have Dieter here with me. He is with LAURENZ V. He's all the way from Austria. Austria only makes 1% of the wine in the world. That's a little bit of wine. Tell me a little bit about your winery and your background.
We more or less started in 2004. We really started from scratch, and our idea was to help to introduce Grüner Veltliner to a broader audience. Grüner Veltliner is really commercially only grown in Austria, and that being said, you know, we do see some experiments internationally, but it's the indigenous Austrian grape varietal. Grüner Veltliner is somehow related to one of our founding partners, so his family is in the industry for 400, 500 years.
Only in Europe you go, 400 or 500 years, no big deal.
Yeah, actually.
That's a long time, right?
And one of his grandfather actually changed the world of wine gardening because he was the person who invented the trellising system. So he is a kind of a figure in the industry, and by coincidence he did it with the grape Grüner Veltliner. So you could say that he was one of those people in Austria that put Grüner Veltliner on the map.
We're calling him the Grandpa Grüner?
Yes, correct. That's how we call him, the Grandpa Grüner.
Grandpa Grüner. I love it. And the thing about the United States is sometimes we don't actually order wines that we don't know how to pronounce. And so would you say that Grüner, I just say Grüner, I'd even call it Grüner Veltliner because I didn't want to have you be like, you didn't say it right. Is this one of these wines where we don't know how to say it, therefore we don't order it?
Well, actually, Grüner Veltliner is difficult to pronounce. That's absolutely clear. So when we started our project, our British friends clearly told us you need to find something. You need to find a category name for Grüner Veltliner because Grüner Veltliner...
You got to say it like that with your face. You got to go, Grüner Veltliner.
Sounds like an illness. You know, you have to do something. So we indicated the category name. So we have a singing, we have a friendly, and we have a charming Grüner Veltliner.
You guys only make Grüner. That's it. That's all you do.
Correct.
You do one thing and you do it well.
Yes, correct. And we only entirely concentrate on Grüner Veltliner, and even that we concentrate on a certain area of Austria. So that's the Kamptal area where we grow our wines.
We're not familiar with that area here in the U.S., so what makes that region so great for Grüners?
Kamptal is about an hour west from the capital Vienna, so it's a cool growing climate. And it's together with the Kamptal, the Kremstal, and the Wachau Valley. That's the cradle of fine white wine growing in Austria. So that's to me the epitome of Grüner. We fully concentrate on three wines. Charming is our flagship wine. That's our reserve tiers. The parcel that do not fit into the Charming, which is a Kamptal reserve by legal definition, goes into the Friendly. So Friendly is literally the little brother of the Charming.
Oh, okay.
And for the singing, excellent. We buy in some grapes from the surrounding areas.
So if you're just starting out, you've never tried a Grüner before, is this sort of your intro wine?
I always call it our breakfast wine, so that's the morning Grüner.
Sure.
So we have a morning Grüner, we have a lunch Grüner, and we have a dinner Grüner.
Yeah, as you do in Austria. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it helps along after this history, yeah?
Okay, yeah, right, okay, yeah, exactly. Well, I've never been to Austria before, but give me some fun facts, because I had heard that The Sound of Music was shot, obviously.
Yes, absolutely, yeah, it's in Salzburg. So it's really famous in the United States and not so known in Austria.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
oh my God, that's hysterical. Yeah. That's hysterical. So you guys aren't just the kids aren't running around singing "The Hills Are Alive."
Yeah, we do, on purpose.
That's normal, right? Exactly. Okay, let's try some wines because we're talking about them now. Like this is our breakfast wine, so we got to try it now.
Grüner Veltliner is a chameleon grape varietal, similar to Riesling. Can stretch from an easy to access, aromatic, crisp, fruity, light, not too complicated breakfast Grüner towards a classic, very mineral Grüner Veltliner and moves up towards a reserve tier that can age for 20, 30 years easily. So this is the capability of the grape varietal.
And that's really interesting because a lot of times we do not think about aging white wines. I mean, we think about Chardonnays, obviously, but we don't think about maybe something like a Grüner being aged. You brought a couple of examples, and we'll try those at the end. And you actually decanted the wine.
Yes, absolutely. So that's one thing. First of all, it's the chameleon grape. Secondly, it's extremely driven by the terroir. Thirdly, it can age extremely well.
Now we're going to try our middle wine, which they have on the list here at Scoma's, and they were nice enough to pair a seafood crudo with it.
The wine fits to almost any kind of food you may think of. So you have your classic Austrian dishes.
What are the classic Austrian dishes?
Viennese schnitzel.
The what is schnitzel?
Viennese schnitzel.
What's that,
So
Viennese?
that's veal with the breadcrumb, so pan-fried veal with the bread crust. So that's a Viennese schnitzel. So that's the signature dish in Austria, together with the Tafelspitz, that's boiled beef. Yeah. So the Austrians, they do boil the beef.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't grill, they boil it. Yeah.
They boil it.
They boil it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds healthier than maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not so sure, but
What do I know?
Depends on your side dishes.
Good
like
point.
everywhere. Being here in San Francisco, you have the crab, you have the shellfish, you have all. Grüner is ideal for this country, and it's always lighter in alcohol, crisp, fresh, and invites you for the next sip.
Oh, I'm invited to the next sip. I want to get in on that charming, which is purple. And someone told me your nickname was Mr. Purple Pants, but you're not wearing purple pants, so I'm wondering if I got duped.
When we started in 2004, purple was not the new black as it is now. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. My daughter is 2 years old. I ask her, what's your favorite color? Purple. She wants a purple birthday cake. Everything's purple in our house.
Absolutely, yeah. So this changed. This totally changed. But, well, it helped somehow. So we tried to our company color is purple. That's the idea behind the color coding.
Yeah, neither one of us is wearing purple, but we'll let the wine do the talking. Oh, wait. Oh, there you go. I knew you'd bust out some purple.
The charming is, that's our reserved here. That's a combination of 45 different vinified single vineyard sites, and then combined to one wine. That's the charming. So that's our understanding of a reserved Grüner Veltliner from the Kamptal area. And that's our flagship vibe. That all the love goes into the charming, obviously. So Grüner Veltliner in general, but on the uplifted higher end, it balances the spiciness in the Asian cuisine. If I would need to pick a wine for Asian cuisine, I would pick a Grüner Veltliner.
So it goes with seafood, it goes with spicy. Does it go with steak? Of course it does. Absolutely.
Because the wine has character, minerality, and acidity. So it cuts through the fat of a solid piece of meat. So it's the chameleon in the industry. It fits almost any kind of food you may think of. Grüner Veltliner is getting more popular in the US as being a crisp, easy-to-access light wine. But Grüner Veltliner actually has an enormous amount on the high-end side. 2006 was a lovely year, so Grüner Veltliner can age extremely well, and I recommend to, first of all, get big glasses, and secondly, decant Grüner Veltliner.
See, when we think about white wine, sometimes we think about these little glasses. We don't think about decanting.
And this wine needs air and adds on complexity. And here you have all these characters and elements of a white Burgundy. And it's getting endless on your palate, and these wines can age for 25, 30 years easily. So again, it's the hidden gem, it's the hidden secret in the fine wine industry.
I love it. The secret is out, people. The secret is out. Okay, since we are talking about the Summer of Love here in San Francisco, we're really not. We're really just talking about groovy Grüners. There's a song that was super popular in 1967. Dieter, you've come to San Francisco. This is for us. Okay, put that in your hair. I will leave San Francisco. Well, I'm not leaving San Francisco. I'm going to the other side of town with flowers in my hair, and you will leave it with flowers in your lapel. Do you have a cheers or some kind of toast, something that you guys say in Austria?
We say, actually, in my part, we say Prost, but that's the regular German, but we sometimes say Servus, which means hello.
Servus.
Servus.
Hello. I love it.